Welcome everyone who is joining us online and those joining us in the sanctuary. Many with the Boy Scouts, many who are here. Thank you for braving the cold, and I'm sure folks were excited, somewhat excited, to at least get out of the house after a couple of days of snow. So if you are at home, I ask that you grab your Shabbat candles, give light to all who behold them. So may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light. So may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. We join together. Baruch atah vitzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. And then if you have at home some sort of great beverage, I invite you to take that up. And if you're at home or if you're here in person, I invite you, if you're able to please rise for our Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'aheshit ki hu yom kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim Kivanu Kim Ahava Uvratzon Inchaltanu HaShabbat. Amen. And we say L'chaim.
L'chaim, to life. You may be seated. And in this parasha, God says to the Israelites, make me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them. So he says to Moses, tell them to make me a sanctuary so that I can dwell among the people. And then in this parasha, there are lots of descriptions for building. There's building a menorah. There's building aspects of the Mishkan, the portable sanctuary. And if you think about it, it's actually a perfect parasha for a Boy Scout, as one might even earn a badge building the tabernacle. Tonight we celebrate here in our congregation and throughout the Jewish community of St. Louis, we celebrate Scout Shabbat, which means that we are celebrating the young people who have worked to earn mission to our Jewish Scout Council that is here in St. Louis and that actually exists throughout the United States. And I want to say that it isn't so easy time, and it takes effort. I see a head nodding. It involves learning What about being Jewish? And depending on the level of the scout and the badge itself, the learning can include Torah, it can include biblical stories, it can include Jewish history, it can include understanding Jewish ritual, learning. Boy Scouts of America, young people to be. Certainly, it isn't easy being for the Jewish community and anti-Semitism. To the report Amnesty International published this week, calling Israel an apartheid state. In both of these instances, there is a lot of history and a lot of nuance that sometimes even Jews don't truly understand. With regard to Israel, Israel isn't perfect. And yes, some of the things mentioned in the report, Israel absolutely needs to work on, and Israel needs to figure out that Israel is solely responsible for the conflict. Same for Whoopi Goldberg's comment, nor about what anti-Semitism or racism truly are based on her remarks. This is why education and time spent learning more about oneself, one's faith, and one's history is so important. It isn't just about raising up oneself, but it's also being able to look at the difficult, to examine it in which we live. So make me a sanctuary, God says, that I may dwell among them. Earlier today in my Shabbat message, I shared a teaching of the Kotzker Rebbe. The question is asked, where does God dwell? And the answer is wherever we let God in. And so tonight, as we honor the boy, each of them, but just give the words, a scout is trustworthy, a scout is loyal, a scout is helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Imagine what a world it would be if we all thought about following these. And imagine about where is it that God dwells? Wherever we let God in. And this Shabbat, certainly may we, page 138 and 39 in our prayer books, as we welcome in Shabbat with the Shabbat.
Alecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabala. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabala, la 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabala. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Ishmi'anu el ha'meuchad, Adonai echad, u'shamo echad, L'shemo tiferet v'lihi la 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 la, V'nekabel, or ha'berah b'machshavat chila la 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 la, Lechadodi, Likrat, please rise, Pene Shabbat nekabela, and face the door, Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'b'tzola, toch emunei am segula. Boi chala, boi chala. Alecha dodi, likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela, lecha bela. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la.
umashane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umesader et hakochavim b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtsono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi layla, umavdil bein yom uvein layla, Adonai Tzivaot Shemo, El Chai V'Kayam, Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Leolam Va'ed, Baruch Atah. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch Atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Baruch Shem Kevod Ma Ubechol nafshecha Ubechol me'odecha Vehayu Hadavarim ha'el Shivtecha beveitecha Uvelechtecha vaderech Uvshochbecha uvekumecha Ukshartam le'o Uchtavtam Al mezuzot beitecha Uvisha'arecha Leman tizem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzei Elohechem Amen.
We read together. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, except by joining hands,
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh Nora tehilo Osef Who is like you? Moses and the children crossed the sea. They sang to you with songs of joy. Who is Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai Osef ele mi chamocha Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai Mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh.
And on page 160, we continue with Hashkivenu, our evening prayer for peace.
Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamideinu shom Peace over us, guide us in wisdom, compassion and trust. Hashkivenu Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamideinu shom
to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water Amidah.
Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth. Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'im. Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah. Ha'el hagadol hagibor v'hanora. El chaste avot ve'imahot. Umevi geula livnei v'neihem lema'an shemo be'ahava. Melech ozer u'moshia u'magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Page 100. Yeh hakol atah rav lechalkel chaim bechesed. Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim. Umekayem emunato lishenei afar micham. Melech me'min atah lahachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who dismay, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen.
And we turn to has just been goodness. We give thanks for the gift of life, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, Hatov Shimcha Ulecha, will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. Strengthen the bonds of friendship, soul, and may the love blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamevarech et amo Yisrael. Need of healing. For those in the sanctuary, if you have a name you'd like to say aloud, I ask you to rise. And we take all of those names into our hearts, and we ask that God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit, as together we join in singing Mishaberach, our prayer for healing.
Source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mekor habracha le'avoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah, shlema of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Personal prayer.
והגיון ליבי לפניך. Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri. Imresh Bibi, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Goali.
Greetings and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
I'm Paul Kravitz, and I'm a member of the Board of Trustees of the United Hebrew Congregation, and I'm here to welcome you tonight with a few announcements. Tomorrow at UH, Torah study begins at 9 a.m. in the chapel or via Zoom. Shabbat morning service at 10:30 a.m. tomorrow, and at 6 p.m. we usher out Shabbat with Next Week Now via live stream. So what are our upcoming events? February 18th through April 3rd, United Hebrew is excited to welcome liturgist Alden Solavoy back to our community for a residency. And Build Your Jewish Toolbox, Israel Part 1 will be on Sunday, February 20th at 9. Please visit the UH website. Thank you to our tech team. The gift shop is open on Sundays when religious school is in session from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. and by appointment.
And before we get to our calendar, and we are the congregation celebrating a birthday in February. If so, please rise.
I see a
All
little one.
right. Owen, please rise. Celebrating a birthday February 12th. And oh, yeah, the numbers flip. And a blessing. Be blessed. Ya'er alechem or hachoch yitein lachem masechem shalom. And to that we say, Amen.
Amen.
And we say, my favorite blessing of all, Admea ve'esrim. May you live to be 120. You have many, many years to go, just as Moses did. You have many years to go
I have
as
less
well,
years
Rabbi
to go.
Bellows. Sorry.
I do.
But fewer. Yeah, Owen has a lot more years to go than you do. May you live to be 120. You may forward to the Bima Earl Binder, who is the head of the St. Louis Jewish Boy Scout Council. You'll correct the name, maybe not. You'll come up and correct that.
Council, I am the, I'll take off my mask if I may. I am the chairman of the Jewish Committee on Scouting for our council, and it gives me great pleasure to invite forward Mike Euchman, wherever you are, to help me to bring their parents up so they may receive their emblems. I'm not going to go into detail on the emblems because the rabbi did a very, very good job explaining that there are 4 emblems. We're going to present Maccabee Awards first. Mike, you want to do the honors with those? Okay, so both Owen and Nate have earned. That is the first emblem that can be, they're emblems, not awards, actually. They're emblems that the National Jewish Committee on Scouting sponsors, and they are a silver on purple knot that can be worn all through your scouting career and as an adult. And the next emblem is Aleph Award, and that is for when they cross over and become Scouts BSA, formerly known as Boy Scouts, because it's now boys troops and girls troops. They can earn what's called a Ner Tamid Award, which is even more difficult. There is a 4 odd years ago, we've only awarded 4 in our council. Rabbis, I want to thank both rabbis for having us here tonight, and Rabbi, I can definitely tell where you got your voice from, your good voice.
Receive your award and awards. We want to thank you both for taking the time to work on these awards. It is so important. Every time we give a Boy Scout award, I like to put forward the challenge. As you heard Earl just say, in the history of the Eitz Chaim Award, only 4 have been awarded in the St. Louis Council. 4. We've had a number of them start. You, hopefully, and building a tabernacle and all the things that your family from generation to generation, who I know was really, he used to talk about all his Hanukkah decorations and all of those things. So I can imagine him looking down upon the 2 of you today, Jewish life. And so we look forward to welcoming both of you and Liam to this bima for your own scouting, not award, but emblem, correct? One day as well. Mazal tov to the 2 of you. Congratulations.
Say that there is also Nate. Thank you for hosting.
Thank you. And we now turn in our prayer books to page 586 as we all rise for Aleinu.
כמשפחות האדמה שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגורש תחבים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלמר והיד ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. And before we start our reading before the Kaddish and come to the reading of this evening, mail has not been delivered since Tuesday. So if we miss reading a name this week because it was in the mail, our apologies, and I promise we will read that name next week and add it to our list. Like the Shabbat candles, life is kindled. It burns, it glows. It is radiant with warmth and beauty, but soon it fades. Its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see no more and are no more seen. Yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory slowly fading into the darkness. Eternal cycle of dark of Shloshim, for Lillian Deutsch, Theodore Ted Jagist, Murray Marks, Evelyn Thelma Roth, Susan Susie Tozer. This week, the Shabbat, we observe the yahrzeits and we lovingly remember Dr. Edward J. Berger, Daniel Burke, Kay Bilak, Gertrude Bothman, Lillian S. Brown, William Bill Carl, Jacob N. Kraselneck, Robert F. Eicher, Eva Engel, Herman Essler, Francis Feldman, Faye Fox, Miriam Arnett Freeberger, Ida Friedman, Rowena Cram Friedman, Elmer J. Gidlow, Goldie Goldberg, Ruth E. Goldstein, Fred A. Goldstein, Arthur W. Ginsberger, Sophia A. Hoffman, Margaret Huber, Ida Jaffe, Frida S. Joseph Clayman, Etta Clayman, Jane Korn Kravitz, Eva Lamberg, Sam Laserwitz, Molly Malpe, Sam Michelson, Ben Muchnick, Sarah Muniz, Shirley J. Pash, Jean B. Pattis, Lena Rosenblum Poger, Morris Pollock, Gary Stewart Poscover, Benjamin Roman, Esther G. Rosen, Isidore Rosen, Audrey Krantz Rosenberg, Dorothy H. Rosenblatt, Thelma Ross, Rebecca Rawson, Gertrude R. Roth, Sophie Rothstein, Edward I. Rudman, Fanny Rubin, Dorothy M. Sapin, Gertrude Solomon, Morris Sofair, Sophia Goldblum Sosna, Debbie Lynn Sewell, Virginia Spiewak, Moses Stein, Blanche Steinberg, Sarah Steinberg, Bernard Suskin, Lucille Thomas, Goldner's Kaddish on page 598, and we rise. Yit Gadal ve'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Bialma Divra Hirute V'yamlich Malchute, Imru Amen. Yehe Shemei Rabbah Mevorach Le'olam Olmei Almaya, Yit Barach ve'yishtabach ve'yit Pa'ar ve'yit Dekudashar Barichu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, damiram be'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. And on this Shabbat, just as our ancestors, to build a sanctuary, not just a physical sanctuary, but to also build a tabernacle, a sanctuary of knowledge, and a sanctuary of love for Judaism, the Jewish people, in certain places.
Olam chesed yivaneh, yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. Olam, Olam chesed yivaneh, Olam chesed yivaneh, yadadai. And you must build this world from love. God will build. Olam chesed yivaneh.
Shabbat Shalom, and for those joining us here in the sanctuary on your way out, a very special Shabbat to go this very sweet treat. Shabbat Shalom to all.